Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Recording in process. This is my YouTube channel. For the record, I am Abdul Kawi Philippi L. Ali Bey Royal Noble. This is Abdul Kawi Philippi versus 932 Belmont Walk in Brooklyn, State, Kings County. It said it was declared in the Supreme Court verdict I won. So what do they have? Opinion? Why yes, Einstein. It says, as a matter of civil matters, non criminal matters, matriarchal matters, mental hygiene. Does anybody have mental? Does the state or anybody have a right to regulate somebody's hygiene, especially when they buy their own soap, their own deodorant, and work for their own soap and deodorant? That doesn't apply to me. And what do they have if they don't have your signature? And would suppose you give them the contract that has your own stipulations and rules and regulations under your own divine fig tree as your free Moorish national name. Does that apply to, I'm not going to say them, me? No. And I'm looking for Abdul versus 1821 Pickens Avenue, Kings County, declared victory, and nothing came up besides your fishing rod and a cold Alaska and an emoji. It's not fake. Anybody could look this up. Now, another subject matter in persona and asana. Abdul Kawi Philippi versus Auburn Fort Greene Estate declared victory that I won. Now let's see what came up. Only two things. The Brooklyn Ink and the New York Times. And it says 2011 organizations for the homeless shelter and 7 interviewed says it's one of the worst. Correction. It also says New York is removing 400 children from their families in Auburn, Fort Greene, Brooklyn. And that was 2014. So let's click on the articles and see what comes up. Remember, I have no criminal record. Yet there's a hospital right there. So isn't that a conflict of interest? And don't they take an oath to the bar? And even if they didn't take an oath to the bar, does that apply to me? And what is an act? A role you put on, right? It says it had terrible food, poor heating, bad guards, complaints by 4 women, and some guards at the resident asking for sexual favor. It said it monitored the people, the residents there that were complaining about the SNAP. So they were declaring that as a residence in their state, and nearly 8,500 families were there. And it's not far from the municipal, still a conflict of interest, because they say it's under military occupation. But can the military control the banks? Absolutely not. Now, 5, 6 minutes in, let's go to the second thing that comes up. It said New York Times. New York is removing 400 children from two homeless shelters. So that number doesn't add up. Two and four, 2 times 4 equals 8. 402 does add up. But when you put the numbers together, it doesn't match up. It says, in the face of the mounting homeless crisis, Mayor de Blasio will announce an administration removing hundreds of children from two owned homeless shelters. That's still a conflict of interest because they said there's no dollar bills in the war against homelessness. But don't they make money when they get people on home? So how is that the truth? That's the truth and a lie at the same time. Recording still in process. It says the administration is subsidized and permanent for temporary shelter for families. And it says for nearly decades they had cockroaches, spoiled food, violence, insufficient heat, inspectors warned unfit for children. It said it has vermin, mold, lead exposure, safety system insufficient, people that they don't want their children around, sexual predators. And it says it also, while they give you the Vaseline, it says they have disability assistance. So that's also a conflict of interest. You mean to tell me if this was a disability for someone to own a place, how's it the owner is telling them where to go? What happened when they did that to Moses? He took his people and went elsewhere. Recording still in process. This is Abdul Cowie versus Bronxwood and South Oak Drive, Queens County Estate. Let's see what comes up. What came up was Jonathan C. Richter, law firm, PLLC. It said anonymous verdict. a Supreme Court jury awarded $7 million to Peter Wen to his wife Tian Young Joy Mai. Did any Chinese residents live at this residence at that time? It said the verdict was rendered 29th of November 2023 and compensated the plaintiffs for the injuries due to the autonomous failure to diagnose to treat the eye infection appropriately. Mind you, these are doctors. They have PhDs. So they couldn't even help out their own eye injury. And these are doctors and PhDs, and they was awarded $7 million. Medical negligence. Isn't that malpractice? Because they can't compel someone for any kind of medical treatment or whatsoever. It says it was when they diagnosed these people for eye treatment, they were prescribing steroids in their eye drops back then in 2019. And it said it was urgent to refer the ventricular specialist. And it said this showed up as a misdiagnosis and delay to lack of tragic loss of Mr. Wang's eye and a nearly fatal spread of infection. Don't believe me? You can look this up. It's index number 70089 2020. Importance of accurate diagnosis and timely medical intervention. Also says another law firm in the same county at the same place. Recording still in process. It says believe the injury of a single plaintiff in Queens County, Benedict P. Morelli, and his team of now it says $62 trillion and 27 cents of a 26-year-old Chinese Zhen Jin Lin. Remember, Jerry Lin said supposedly an Asiatic got him the career, and Zen Gun Lin, which is the great grandfather who owned all these businesses, couldn't even get him on TV back then. And Jeremy Lin played for the Knicks back then in 2008 May 8th. And it says he was working on a construction site in the Bronx and defended Hutch Partners LLC and was working at 20 feet high installed metal sliding. And it said the offender violated labor law. So how is he violating the labor law? And he said he's 20 years old at the time. Doesn't that state that if someone is younger enough to sign a contract, it's violating this labor law?